Hi, I'm here to share with you a little bit about hand jiving. And this is a little bit like body percussion that I shared with you in some earlier lessons. But this is something that is not mine. This has come down from many dance form choreographies across the generations. Grease, the movie, was very famous for putting it into its musical. And I'm going to now share a little bit of the base of. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform that into something a little bit different, a little bit more challenging for a couple of the moves for you, but I think you'll enjoy it. So I have my handy helper here, so if you hear a little bit of purring, Hunter's joined us. Here is the hand jive. So 2 claps down, 2 claps together. One hand goes over the top, then the other hand goes over the top, then one hand hits on the other. Take it back over, then go throwing it over your shoulder and throw it over your shoulder. And I'm doing that with my thumb out. So you have. Okay, that's the bass pattern. Now that's pretty generic, doesn't have any dance in it. You can go slow, you can go fast. And then, of course, depending on what music you find, you can put it with the music. Now, you can add your feet as well. So you can do out, in, out, step, out, in, out, step. That would be another pattern. So you could do the hands and then go to the feet if you wanted. And you could do it slow and fast. It's up to you. Okay. Now, the other thing that you'll see them do is this. And they're just going to walk. I'm just going to back up so you see my feet. Walk in one way and walk in the other way. And I'm just doing my bare feet back. So those are a few of the pieces that you can put into it. It's up to you what you decide, how quick. If you want to practice it, a little bit slower. If you want to mix them up, they don't have to be together, but it's up to you how you want to put it together and the music that you play. So you start with the basic hand jive. Check out the videos that I put into this little lesson because they're really fun to watch. There's some really exciting stuff in there. And then see what you can practice and come up with. And then I'm going to add for you a different kind of hand jive. And then I'll share the tools that go with it. Take care. Okay, I want to share with you now the hand grasping reflex. This is something that comes from Svetlana Masgutova's MNRI program, Masgutova NeuroReflex Integration. And what we're doing is we're following a sequence that the body learned in order to be able to grasp hands, pull things closer, push things away, or holding on to a pen and being able to write or color. This is a really important set of reflexes that if they don't integrate in the order or in the correct kind of way, can create all kinds of little gremlins within the system where people will say, oh, that's just the way that person is. Oh, that's because, and they try to talk it off as something else. And sometimes it's just the simple patterning isn't there and we can reprogram it. So what I have done is I've broken it down into small components. And I'm just going to share the first set with you. So this is just the first little bit. And I put it into choreographed moves, which will go into music so that it becomes more like a rap piece that is kind of an acceptable way to do exercise without having to think so hard about the patterns. What is important, though, is that if you find that there's a problem or a challenge getting from one movement to the next movement, you found where the challenge is. That means spend some time on it. Go from the pattern before to the pattern next. Go 2 patterns before, 2 patterns after, and just try to integrate it so it really smooths out. When you have something that doesn't work, that is your signal that you need to spend time with it. It's where you're going to do your most learning. If everything was easy, it wouldn't mean you would need to do anything because you would already know how. So this is the chance to be able to put it together. So this first sequence, we actually start with the thumb tucked inside the fingers, and I'm going to do it by jumping the feet apart and banging my hands down like they're hitting on a drum. Boom, boom. Okay? So I put my thumbs inside my hands. Boom, boom. So that's the first action. All right, now the second action, the thumbs come outside of the hand to cross across the fingers, and to get from here to here, I'm going to roll down to the floor. I'm going to roll up through my hands, and as my hands come up, I'm going to transition them to finish there. Okay, and that can be a whole body roll on the end, and the last part just gives you that nice little lock into there. Okay, so that's the second part. Now we get to here, the next part, the thumbs need to go to the side of the hand. So it's not very far to move from there to there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go boom, boom. And so I've taken my thumbs from here, and on each action, I can move them to the top. Okay? You can do that with a transition of weight from one foot to the other foot. Or you can just, if it's enough to think about, you might just want to go look, look. That's totally fine. And as you get better at it, you might decide to move it with more of the body. There you can see mine stayed up, which tells me this one doesn't have as quick a reaction time as the other side. So that might be an area where I might want to go from here and then go boom, boom, and let myself transition a little bit slower. Okay, you notice right there, my thumb did go there when it needed to, and that was a good learning experience for me to be able to know that difference. Okay, so we get to there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring the hands down, and the thumbs are going to come out. We bring them together, and we're going to do the shape of a heart all the way around until we bring the hands back together. Okay, so we just came from thumbs up here, then we're going to fall down into the feet, thumbs come out, all the way around, bring that all the way through, and bring that back together. And when you get to the end of that, you're going to roll up, and the hands are going to be like a clock. So it's like the fingers, if you were hanging on a bar, and your thumb was underneath the bar to keep you from falling off, that would be the grip you would have. So you come around, there's the thumbs, and then boom. And you're just going to roll and lock it when it comes back up. That would be an action you would consider in some of the hip hop language. All right, those are the sequences for the first line of the hand grasping reflex patterning. If you practice it on your own and it feels like it's moving quite slow, I want you to know it was slow for me too. It took me a little bit to put it all together. It takes a little bit to bring that whole body movement in. And eventually it gets a little bit smoother, but it's well worth it because these reflexes are so beautiful when they're set correctly. Okay, enjoy playing with that pattern. Okay, we're ready for the second part of the hand grasping reflex patterning. All right, so we just finished with the hands up like this in a claw. We would have rolled them, boom, into that position. Now what I want you to do is point to the stars. There's one, there's the other. And you notice what I did. I leaned back and I looked that way, and then I looked the other way. And I could transition from one foot to the other foot. You go boom, boom. Now you can decide how slow or fast you want to go, how much extra body movement you want in it. But the point is, you have 2 pointer fingers. Now what's going to happen is your thumb is going to need to pop out, and I'm going to do that by turning the wrists and flipping the fingers open. So they end up like this. So I have my pointer fingers, and I'm going to go flip. And then I'm going to go, let me think on that, and bring it around, okay? So we've gone from the pointer fingers and flip, squeeze in. That brings you to that spot, okay? All right, so now from there, your hands go out to do a little pinch. So you're over here, and you're gonna go like this, pinch. So that's the thumb and the pointer finger. Put them together and give them a little squeeze. And then we're gonna go back and forth with them, just pushing them in and out, kind of like what you would do on a pencil. Pop, 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 pop. Now you could put accents into the music there. You could move it back and forth if you wanted to. Okay, so a couple ways of doing that. And then you go from there to 2 fingers squeezed onto that thumb. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a figure 8. We're going to roll over to the right, come up the middle, roll over to the left, come up the middle. And we create a figure 8 pattern. Now, if you want to take it through the feet, you go through, 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 through. And that'll bring that pattern together. And that's part 2. All right, we're up to the place where we're now going to take those hand sequences one section at a time, because I know it's a lot. It's a lot for me too, just to remember all the patterns. But what I'm going to do is introduce you to the first part of the music, because the Madagascar music has this wonderful beat, which allows you to find the beat of the music in the space. So what I want to do with it is put my hand just on the chest here, up at the top by the collarbone, and the other hand on lower dantian, so just below the belly button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk forward, and I'm going to allow myself to find the beat of the music. And this is a walk forward, and the hands placed where they are is a calming position. So if you're a little bit stressed about how you're going to do things, this is a nice calming thing to do. You could start ahead of the music. If you needed to relax a little bit because you were worried about being able to remember everything, you could just put your hands here and then take a deep breath in. And you should notice lower belly here moving. It should expand with the breath. And because we're standing, you may notice a little bit of tension, so you can let it go, but just standing and holding. This is a beautiful position to calm the whole system down. You may notice your body, let me think, through the shoulders, a little bit of the spine, lower back. You might notice the lower back relaxes. And then it's like it's a little bit of buoyancy that comes into my knees just by holding this position. So and just breathe. So maybe you're working on something and it's causing a little bit of stress. It's not going the way you wanted it to go. Maybe you've been at it for too long. You didn't move every 20 minutes. So you need to do a little bit of movement, but you just start here and just do some deep breathing. And then if you want to put the music on, then what we're going to do is we're going to walk forward. Now, walking forward metaphorically can be walking into your future, walking into the possibilities, walking into new ideas, walking into a completed project. So you can find the beat of the music and bring it in. Okay. We actually, with the Madagascar music, only need to do 4 walks. So it's not very much. Then I added a little bit more of an intricate movement into there. And so you can play with this. So this is stepping forward with 1 foot, and you're going to go hip forward to that foot, back to the opposite corner, over to the back corner, pick up your knee. So you go forward, back, back, knee, forward, back, back, knee, forward, back, back, knee. Now, when I learned this in jazz many moons ago, we referred to it as the chicken walk. So I don't know if it has another name. I've seen it appear at different workshops over the years as I've gone to take different choreographies. But this is a beautiful movement to be able to link it all together. That wasn't beautiful. That just goes to show you even I make a mistake too. Forward, back, back and up, forward, back, back and up, forward, back, back and up, forward, back, back and up. Okay. Now the up and the forward end up rolling together, and you can have some fun choreographically with timing, which is why I was kind of looping it a little bit there, because I often will go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I loop it together, which means this is on a 4, which means this goes now back to a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So what you can do with that is it makes for very interesting choreography because you're never hitting the 1 with the same look. It wraps through the timing, and it means it, to the audience, it just has a different accent on it. It can be very interesting to look at. So as far as the Madagascar choreography goes, your hand is going here. You're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you go into your chicken walk. You could leave your hands here if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And that's where you'll end up. Now your hands could have come off there and you could have moved them in different ways if you wanted to do that. Now once you get there, that's kind of like your intro into the music. And then it starts into the very first downbeat of the verses that are going to happen. And in that, that's when you start to add your hands. Now, every class and every student is going to be different. So if you are leading a group of people, I don't want to choreograph it so it has to land exactly on different beats because things are going to happen for people. And you may find a rhythm within your classroom or within your family or within your buddies where you like to put the moves with the different hand sequences on a particular part of the music. So like when this roll comes up, there might be a nice big bang in the music where you go, huh. And so you find that spot and you put it where it feels good. And then maybe, the one where you get your fingers together, you're doing this sweep here. You might decide to do 8 of them because it fits perfectly with the music, but maybe another time only 4. And then you feel like the phrase is ready to change, boom, boom. And you've got your pointer fingers. So you have the freedom to move this around as you like, but I just wanted to give you the walk-in for your introduction, and then you play with how you want to put the sequence together.